Pereira shines at Wolves, a roller coaster journey in football management. In the unpredictable world of football, managers can rise to fame and fall from grace in the blink of an eye. Just a year ago, Gary O'Neill was hailed as one of the most promising young managers in the Premier League. However, by December, his time was up. This is the nature of the game. A minor setback can quickly spiral into a full-blown crisis, often leading to the manager's dismissal. Fortunately for Wolves, they have seen a remarkable turnaround under Vítor Pereira. While they may not be completely out of the relegation woods yet, their path to safety seems clearer than ever. Life is fleeting, as the folk carol reminds us, but the life of a football manager is even more ephemeral. O'Neill stepped in for Scott Parker at Bournemouth just 4 games into the 2022-23 season, following a humiliating 9-0 defeat to Liverpool. He managed to stabilize the team, but was soon replaced by Andoni Iraola. O'Neill took the reins at Wolves just days before the last season kicked off and had them performing well in the top half by March. However, the tide turned dramatically after a disappointing FA Cup quarter-final loss to Coventry, and Wolves ended the season in 14th place. By the time O'Neill was let go in December, the team was languishing in the relegation zone, having won only 3 of their last 26 league matches. As the pressure mounted, O'Neill's demeanor began to change. His once intense focus morphed into a wild-eyed frustration as he faced yet another VAR controversy. It felt as if the only reason VAR was still in play was to test the limits of one man's patience, with O'Neill resembling a modern-day Job, grappling with the whims of officiating rather than the trials of life. How could a manager who averaged 1.24 points per game in his first 62 matches plummet to just 0.54 points in the next 26? This isn't an isolated case. Many managers experience similar downturns. Is it merely a regression to the mean, as skeptics of the new manager bounce might argue? Could it be that confidence plays a crucial role? Once opponents figure out a manager's tactics and results start to dip, players may lose faith and yearn for a new leader. This cycle is so common in the lower tiers of the Premier League that it's almost accepted wisdom. After about 18 months, a manager's effectiveness is often deemed exhausted, necessitating a change. Perhaps there is indeed a threshold for how much defeat and pressure any manager can endure. Maybe players need a shake-up to break the monotony. For Wolves, the decision to part ways with O'Neill was inevitable after a chaotic home loss to Ipswich, where discipline crumbled and Ryan Aït-Nouri was sent off in a post-match altercation involving Matheus Cunha and opposing staff. As seen with Southampton and Leicester, while identifying the need for a managerial change can be straightforward, finding the right replacement is a far more complex task. The stark divide between the Premier League and the Championship complicates matters, and the events of the past few months were not predestined. Ivan Juric, who took over just 4 days after Pereira, faced an uphill battle. He approached the challenge with commendable composure, even as he provided instructions to his substitutes during a match against Tottenham, where his team was on the brink of relegation. It was almost as if he had been oblivious to Southampton's struggles in recent months. Yet, his seriousness in trying to prevent the earliest relegation in Premier League history deserves recognition. Leicester's choice to appoint Ruud van Nistelrooy in late November appears misguided. Despite Steve Cooper's unpopularity due to his Nottingham Forest ties and perceived negative tactics, Leicester under him were not suffering the same fate of 8 consecutive home losses without scoring. The last time they found the net at home, O'Neill was still at the helm of Wolves. On the other hand, Wolves seemed to have struck gold with Pereira. Heading into their Sunday match against Tottenham, they had amassed 23 points from 15 games under his leadership, sitting 12 points clear of the relegation zone and gaining significant ground on teams like Leicester, Southampton, and Ipswich in just over 3 months. Pereira's immediate challenge after the tumultuous Ipswich match was to restore a sense of calm. His extensive coaching experience across 8 countries has equipped him with a worldly perspective, and he has a history of thriving in chaotic environments. Unlike the earnest O'Neill, Pereira is no stranger to disorder. He has navigated his share of controversies, making post-match drama seem trivial in comparison. He has